Now, today on the program, in a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court grants full autonomy to local government areas, orders federal government to pay their allocations to them directly. A meeting between President Tinubu and organized labor over minimum wage ends. Talks to continue next week. And then, of course, later we'll share this with you. Government unveils 180-day plan to slash food prices. But I'm hanging out with you-know-who, Babajide Kolade Utitoju, BKO. I greet you.
Good evening, citizen. Good evening, viewers.
Yeah, BKO, we are joined by the genial, proud daughter of Ijebu land, Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile. I greet you.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Okay. All right, the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, let's go. You know, the intense debate about local government autonomy has officially ended. In a landmark pronouncement on the matter, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has ruled that the 774 local government areas be given a full financial autonomy across the Federation. In the pronouncement, the Apex Court ordered the federal government to immediately start payment of local government funds directly to the latter's exclusive accounts. In its lead judgment, Justice Emmanuel Agim scolded the decade-long refusal of state governments on financial autonomy for local government areas. According to the justice, only democratically elected local governments are entitled to these funds, and not caretaker committees. With this healthy development, it is safe to conclude that local government areas in the country would breathe a lot better and deliver on their mandate. Let's share the moment with you. Come with us.
I commend the Lord Justices of the Supreme Court for the judgment that have restored democracy to our grassroots. Because democracy almost disappeared from our rural communities when our governors appropriated the local government powers, rigged local government elections, mismanaged federal allocation.
Our people cannot see rapid development, so we just want to thank God Almighty for giving us a president like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has had the courage to take this step by coming to the proper place to say, let the proper interpretation be made to give life to the third tier. Enough of the intimidation by forces who do not want democracy to exist in Nigeria. Mr. President, we say thank you.
The judgment on local government autonomy have just been delivered by the Supreme Court. We will get the certified true copy of the judgment as a body, the body of State Attorneys General of the Federation. We will study it and then we will come up with our statement on it.
Because we can now say it's a new deal for local governments.
And we can also say it's a new dawn.
Yes.
You know? So
yeah.
We've always wanted this to happen. We've discussed this a number of times here. And what irritates me the most is the fact that governors just don't even want us to have any form of democracy at local government level.
Yes.
The governor comes into office, the first thing he's thinking of is dissolving the local councils. And will now put in their place caretaker chairmen.
And keep collecting their funds.
Before now, it had been affirmed by the Supreme Court that governors have no power to dissolve local government councils.
Yes.
You know, elected based on the laws of our land. But the governors don't listen. And when new governors come in, that's the first thing they want to do.
Yes, yes.
They want control of the local governments by hook or crook. Look at a state like Anambra. They've had three governors on the bounce. None of them organized a local government election. 3 governors. Each of them, the first 2, used 16 years cumulatively.
Yes.
No local government election. And these are amongst people who will be boasting, puffing their chest that they are Democrats. When they were governor, they didn't deem it fit to organize local government election.
It didn't mean anything.
Today, Soludo is the governor of the state. He's been around for a while. He has not organized a local government, as if it is a tradition in Anambra State to not allow local government elections to happen.
Yes.
Whoever is there, no matter how that person is waxing lyrical and parading himself as a Puritan, they do not have the lever to organize local government.
Yes.
That's what we've seen over time. And people elected by Nigerian people, you remove them from office just when you like.
Yeah.
A system that permits that to happen is a dysfunctional system. And I'm happy that this judgment has come. God bless the Attorney General, Lateef Fagbemi.
Yes.
Because I knew at the time when he was taking that matter before the Supreme Court that he would succeed.
Okay.
Thank God, citizen. In matters between states and federal government, only the Supreme Court has jurisdiction to entertain.
Okay, yeah.
They will have been doing to us what is happening in Rivers, where a court, a judge who knows that he does not have jurisdictional competence to entertain a matter, he will go ahead and even give an order.
And in law, jurisdiction is key.
Of course, if you do not have jurisdiction to entertain a matter, what are you doing there? Any decision that you take, thank God there are remedies already provided by law. Any decision that you take is null and void.
Yeah.
But that is not. Let's talk about what the beauty of this is. We want development to percolate to the lower levels.
Yes, the third tier.
The third tier of government. Now, they will be able to manage their funds.
And no excuses.
Bring development to our people.
Yeah.
Only a few governors were known to, in the past, to not intervene, to not tamper with funds belonging to local government. I've told the story here, and it's not a lie.
Okay.
A local government chairman, after they concluded this jack arrangement that they used to do, what came to him, he burst into tears. He's an Ijebu man. Just like, she is also an Ijebu man. Because in our profession, every woman is as a man. Just like judges. They say Mr. Justice even to a woman. So, just like her, the man.
So why did he burst into tears? Is it because
of what came to him after the jack sharing?
Oh, yeah.
You say they have joint account. You say they have joint account.
Yeah.
But what he got after the sharing, I swear to God, he burst into tears.
Okay.
You can imagine. Because he looked at it and was wondering, what will I do with this?
With this one.
This is what they've been doing.
Over 20 years.
A National Assembly committee went to Bayelsa, where Seriake Dixon was governor.
Okay.
And what did they praise him for? They didn't praise him for building infrastructure in the sky. They praised him for not touching local government funds.
Okay.
The little man who was governor in Kaduna, El-Rufai, was also praised for that. He was reputed for leaving the local governments to...
He organized local government elections.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes. Use electronic voting module.
That's it.
His party lost some local government.
He didn't
but it didn't matter. He used electronic module.
Yeah.
So I'm happy now. Let their money go to them directly. That is what Buhari wanted to do it with the instrumentality of executive order But the governors at that time, Tambu and the rest of them, they ran to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court voided.
That's it.
What Buhari couldn't do, or was not allowed to do, let me use it, that's a more polite way of couching it. What Buhari was not permitted to do is what Tinubu has done through his Attorney General. Let their funds go to them. You have no power to organize, to put caretakers in place.
Committees.
Now, by this judgment, because the Supreme Court, people will say, they don't have jurisdiction. They have tampered with the Constitution. The Supreme Court is a court of policy. It's not just a court of record, it's a court of policy. The Supreme Court can create laws, but the content of his judgment becomes law. Yeah. So the Supreme Court has, by this judgment, deleted without without the instrumentality of the National Assembly, deleted that portion that allows the two tiers of government to sit down in form of joint account and then share money in a manner that gives the short end of the stick to the local government chairman, and some of them will burst into tears like Folutile's brother.
No, please.
It happened in Lagos. It happened here in Lagos, in one of the most densely populated local governments that were split into LCDAs. Yeah. People some of them will know the person that I'm talking about.
But we can say it's a new dawn, and so no local government chairman would have any excuse not to deliver on its mandate.
Exactly. That's the good news for me.
Yeah.
Because over the years, this has always been the complaint. We see a lot of infrastructural decay at the local government level, and we do not see much of development at that level. And the complaint has always been that these local governments do not have control over their money because of the joint account with the state government. Now that everything is clear, the roadblock has been removed, I am very sure that people now at the grassroots will expect to get more dividends of democracy. They will expect their local government chairman. For me, it's good news and it could be bad news. Good news for LG chairmen that are ready to perform, and bad news for those who may want to continue with the old order. Because now, people now have a better understanding. They know that you don't have any excuse. Then another thing for me is the vibrant democratic dividends that may result out of this. Because now I am thinking that if everything works well, if a political party at that grassroots level does not perform to please the people, they can...
No excuse.
They can afford to elect another party at that level, because now we don't have issues of caretaker committees which are imposed.
It's one of the highlights. Limitation of governors' powers.
So there is you can't constitute a caretaker committee again, which will perpetually put your party in power, whether you do well or you don't do well. So I think it's also a good thing at that political level. And I'm expecting more developments. We talk about facilities like toilets, health centers, primary health care centers. You know, these are the responsibilities of local governments. And we are expecting that with this judgment, with these judgments, things will fall in place. We should be seeing development.
Have you given a thought to local government elections at the local government level? Elections at the local government level?
Yes. That was why I talked about the vibrancy that we are likely to see now. Because now we are saying, politics is local.
Every politics, we are told.
Now, look at it this way. Even these local governments are the closest to the electorate. So you go, you campaign, you tell people what you want to do. Your programs, you should be able to lay them clearly before the people. And they should be able to assess you. And the good thing is that they know your house.
If anything goes wrong.
If anything goes wrong, they can come to the front of your house and protest. They can lay their complaints. They can do...
This is more than anything else. You know, prior to now, the man at the bus stop would always think every wahala comes from the center.
From the center, exactly. And the pressure is always on the center. Even the state, they give people the impression that it's the center. If you look at Nigeria every day, center. See what the money is at the center. Meanwhile, we have 3 tiers of government. Yeah. Federal government, state government, and the local government as provided by the Constitution. But along the line, I don't even know when this thing happened. That is over 20 years ago. That they just cornered this thing and put it.
Because nobody frowned until now. BKO, and another thing is this. The rising prices of foodstuff, you know, are going up. Now the local government chairman is the #1 citizen of the local government. So he has executive authority, or so it seems.
First and foremost, they will have more resources at their disposal, because the fact is, sometimes governors come up with all kinds of ideas. So let's do this project together. And funds made from those local governments are used to do projects for which governors take total credit.
Wow.
Yes. And when you complain, if you are a local government chairman and you complain, the next thing the governor will remove you. They'll just remove you. You didn't elect him.
Yes.
The people elected him. You have the cheek to kick him out of office because he stood up to you. There are examples of people who had been sacrificed for standing up to their governors. Local government chairman. If first you say, this is insubordination, what are you talking about? Somebody was elected just like you.
Yeah.
You have no power to suspend him, to send him packing.
With a stroke of the pen.
No, they even have their own legislative arm.
It's you that is talking about stroke of the pen. People get dismissed from office with the stroke of the mouth. Not stroke of the pen, stroke of the mouth.
Or stroke of the eye itself.
This is why I'm aware that people are arguing that this judgment is this constitutional interpretation is against the content of Section 162 of the National of the 1999 Constitution. You know, which says that there shall be a joint account. But if you are using we will not, first and foremost, we shall not be slaves to the law.
That's it.
If a law is an unjust law, we have an obligation to disobey an unjust law.
We have heard it, that laws were made for man, not man for the law.
In the days of apartheid, for example, in South Africa, people disobeyed the unjust laws.
Yes.
Because the unjust law is no law at all.
Okay.
Yes. A law that was created to cause people to suffer, for example. You have a moral obligation to go against that law.
Yeah.
Now that law, the joint account, we are saying governors had abused it over the years.
And
because what do? You sit together and they say, okay, Jack, this is what comes to you. You can only burst into tears the way the Fodul Chile's brother. You know? So
leave our brother alone.
If you complain, the governor will send you packing.
You remember one of our colleagues in BC's state?
Yeah, it's always happening in our state.
Because
I don't know about that.
You know, because
a particular.
No, you are not a historian. I am a historian. It's always happening.
He ran into rough weather for challenging.
Today is history.
Yes,
it's history, and you know it is an unfair contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like using. It's like killing a mosquito with an artillery barrage.
Kai.
to confront a governor. You know what it means now?
The chief executive.
Yes. It's disproportionate violence.
Hi.
To come up against a sitting governor when you are a local government chairman. You will be surprised at the rate at which your own colleagues that you are fighting for will turn against you.
That's what happened to him.
So,
That's
as
what
we said,
happened to our colleague.
yes, as we said, the final court is a court of record.
And this pronouncement, BKO, is binding.
It has to be, if it's not binding, why is it? The Justice Agim, one of the best judges we have in our country, he was chief judge in Gambia.
Okay.
Justice Agim, JSC, said from Thursday, that is today, that it must take effect.
Kai.
The full weight of the judgment must take effect from today. It's with immediate effect. So what are we talking about? Let us see. In any case, the Accountant General of the Federation now has clear directive. And the Attorney General is there to make sure that that law is obeyed.
I hear
In the National
Attorneys General were there.
The National Esco, the Attorney General is the most senior minister.
Okay.
He is the only one that the president is not permitted to delegate his role to anyone. Other ministers, the president can delegate anybody to act in their place.
Okay.
But he cannot delegate anyone to act in the place of the Attorney General. The Attorney General is the most senior minister. So he has a role now to ensure that the, what is it called, the Accountant General obeys the content of this pronouncement. Yeah. I know that once we leave this place, we'll start seeing people coming on TV. we have lawyers now who have made a career out of simply going to TV stations to twist the content of judgments. Some of them don't even see the CTC of a judgment before coming on TV to analyze. They are more ubiquitous on TV than they are in the law, in the courtrooms.
Yeah.
We see that. We see what they do. They made a career out of misleading Nigerians. There is no judgment that they don't give us 2 or 3 sides.
That's it.
But the truth, what usually happens, when a party to a suit tells you, look, this judgment favored us, this judgment, they give it a different interpretation, but you see them, they are running to go and appeal. Maybe it favored you. Why didn't you just sit in your closet?
Yeah.
And wait.
And let
they will run to go and appeal, which means they knew what they were doing. But they simply want to mislead the people and tell you that a judge has a jurisdiction where he does not have it. So I know that after this now, we start seeing them. They will be crawling out of their closets to tell us, oh, this is why this is wrong. The Supreme Court was wrong.
Relevance.
We are watching.
This is just before as we race home now. I want to be the so-called second Antichrist, Adolf Hitler. He said, how fortunate for governments all over the world that the people they administer don't think. Now the man at the bus stop in a local government will begin to ask questions.
Yeah, ordinarily,
if anything goes wrong.
Ordinarily, I don't even see why state governors should oppose this kind of thing, ordinarily, if there are no ulterior motives. So, I mean, it's straightforward if we are talking about development. And like I said earlier on, for me, the good news now is that we know who to hold responsible.
If anything goes wrong.
If anything goes wrong, and if we want to ask questions and demand actions, we know who to go to, the local government chairman. So it's a big responsibility for them, and I wish them the best in this new dispensation.
Because remember also former Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, said, if you want anything said, ask a man. If you want anything done, ask a woman.
But our society has not permitted many women to be local government chairmen. So in this case, we can't ask women. We ask the men.
Yeah.
We don't have a female governor.
Oh, yeah.
We are talking about governors not allowing local governments to thrive. So it's the men that we will keep asking.
Okay.
We will keep asking them because they are the ones behind all of these troubles.
But
except a few of them that their wives are prompting them. But the men are the people to ask in our country. It's not every time that the things that those Margaret Thatchers of this world.
Somebody might ask you, if somebody might ask you, if Madam won't go political meeting at 11 p.m., you go allow him.
I go allow him. You know, go try him now. Go 11 for what? What thing they go do?
All right, gentlemen, I hear we must go.
So you are the man. He's the man.
Yes, now. There are some agreements you get into when you are getting married. Marriage is a contract between man and wife. It's a contract. That's why you see us, we sign.
Which does not,
even if it's a church wedding, you see us, we sign. It's a contract.
Which does not include...
And you must fulfill your own obligation.
And the woman, her own.
So if you want to leave my house in the dead of night for a meeting, I will first ask whether you are out of your mind or not. Where are you going?
They say if your dog begins to bark at you,
don't worry,
then somebody else.
There are many men that are ready to allow their wives to go for meetings at 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
And
good luck to them.
As editor, I was coming back home at 1 a.m.
Yeah, so your man.
That's the thing.
I can allow you. See, she was talking about politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are journalists. Why is it that I do not want to be a politician?
Okay.
And I will not work for a politician?
Okay.
There is a reason.
Okay, so
you know where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know where he's coming from.
At the risk of losing my friends, you know, I've said repeatedly that I cannot be a politician.
Okay.
Because I cannot see black and call it white.
All right.
So it's as simple as
that. As Dr. Bisi, we are going on a break. Let's make some money. Never mind BKO. We go take that matter home. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Please stay with us.
Quality wires and cables. Come and come back, light up your life. Come and want to light up your house. Come and want to give you better. Come and extraordinary wire. Come and cables be baba. Come and wires be baba. Come and quality. Come and durable. Come and capable. Come and cables be baba. Come and wires be baba. Come and quality. Come and durable. Come and capable. Everybody. Home and wires, wonder things. Brother, sister, uncle, auntie, go get your own. Home and wires, home and cables, home and quality, home and durable, home and capable. Home and wires, home and cables, home and quality, home and durable, home and capable.
Home and wires and cable, great quality, now with the new look.
You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. President Tinubu, since he assumed office,
we are on our way to progress.
6 out of the 8 APC federal lawmakers.
I have a movement structure that's going to take back our party in Enugu State. Because this one I'm seeing is tales by moonlight. It's not working.
So I'm wondering what you think or who you think can stop him now.
He doesn't own the party.
One of the causes of inflation is because people cannot go to the farm.
The government still needs to do more so that people can eat.
I believe what we're clamoring for is more responsible use of social media. Not that people just go in there and think that they can say anything to anybody.
Tinubu is not one who believes in the same thing. I mean, he wants to get it done. He will face it. He will get it done.
Yes, the president, from inception of his administration, focused squarely on diversifying the economy and driving in investments to, cushion the effect of everything that we've seen, ranging from COVID-19 to the global commodity shocks, global financial crisis, and all of that.
I was privileged to have worked under a governor who believed in the system, who also built up the system, and I'm going to do same.
All right, that's our show today, everyone. Thanks for being a part of it.
TVC News, first with breaking news. Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Laborlands, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Laborlands, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
All right, folks, let's take the landmark judgment home, in a manner of speaking. Just after the judgment, Mr. President received in audience visitors and politicians who came to congratulate him on the landmark judgment. Let's share the moments with you.
When
Yeah, BKO, so it's only natural for Mr. President to get these august visitors, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm even wondering what they come to say to the president at this stage. Don't know.
Too early to.
But
it's in the nature of politicians to do things like this.
I don't know. They didn't take me along with them. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I mean, the president is someone they see all the time, especially these people. So there are many issues that need to be trashed out. The issue of
national issues.
Yes, the issue of national minimum wage, which we are going into now, has to be dealt with. The National Assembly leadership has a role to play because once the minimum wage is agreed and it becomes law, we expect Nigerians to respect the law. And we also expect the National Assembly to expeditiously deal with the matter and transmit the bill to the president for assent. So I know that at this stage, the president and the National Assembly leadership will be talking so that we don't spend too much time. We've already lost so much time. We don't spend too much time in getting the National Assembly to do the needful and for the president to give his assent so that a new minimum wage can kick in.
Yeah.
So, and today they were with the president met with the labor leaders.
Yeah.
And of course, the matter was not concluded, so they'll be back again next week. Yes, they'll be back again next week to continue the discussion. As I've said repeatedly on this program, the issue of national minimum wage is something that is emotive, and you do not expect that it won't take time before a decision is reached. But I agree that if we had started earlier, maybe by this time we will have agreed on yes. But naturally, there will be debates. All of these things take time. But at the end of the day, I'm confident that we'll have a minimum wage, and hopefully it won't be what the NSC president described as a slave wage.
Yes, slave wage, yeah. Dr. Deji Folutile, the Senate president said the other day that 2-3 or so days ago that state governors have the means, the wherewithal to pay an agreed national minimum wage. He should know, don't you think?
Well, we should all know. Not even the Senate president, because I don't think there is anything really secret about the revenue that goes even to state governments. They are published, and also we have an idea of what they do generate internally too, and also the opportunities that are available for them to generate more revenue if they seriously want to. And I also
the number 3 citizen said also that states are getting more than what they used to get.
Exactly. That's why I said it's open to all of us, especially with the fuel subsidy removal and the rest. I think for me it's a question of priority. Whatever the states prioritize. If they prioritize the welfare of their workers, I think it's something they can do, because I know that there are states that are poor, true. But how many staff do they have? You cannot compare the staff strength of a state like Gombe, Taraba with that of Lagos, for example. Neither can you compare that of Ekiti or Osun State with Lagos or Rivers. You understand? So even if these states get more allocation, if they get more revenue, we also know that they have more responsibilities. So it's
you know, I'm enamored when I discuss things like this. The Edo State governor said he was paying 70,
and that he planned to pay it for whatever reason, and he's paying it. So that's why I said it's a question of priority. If the states really think the welfare of their workers is very important and paramount, I think they should be able to pay whatever the federal government agrees on. And if there is going to be any difference, it's supposed to be very slight. That's my expectation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ajero now.
All right. Comrade Ajero, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, Comrade Ajero. Can you hear me? Are you there?
I'm hearing them at the studio where she was talking about. Yeah. Okay. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, this is TVC Lagos. Yeah? Yeah, Comrade, let's quickly go there. You know, the meeting with Mr. President ended not too long ago, and you are continuing next week. Can you tell us something? What can you tell us?
Well, you know, like you actually captured it, we are continuing next week. We had some fruitful deliberation with Mr. President, where he tried to explain the situation in terms of revenue. You know, dwelt a lot on the subsidy removal and Nigerians not paying enough on energy, and the cost they are selling in some West African countries, Cameroon saying about 2,000 and others, and we took all those comments and explained to him what Nigerian workers are passing through. The inflation is talking of that they are the worst hit, and then comparatively, you know, what Nigerians were earning in the 80s and currently in Naira terms. You know, we put all those, we equally have a little understanding on the frequency of the review. You know, he didn't have any objection on review of minimum wage for 2 years or 3 years, since we can't sentence the whole workers for another long review period based on the way things are happening. So on the basis of that, you know, we agreed to meet again by next week, Thursday. We took a week, you know, to review all this and come back.
Yeah, do you see light at the end of the tunnel, as they say? Did you hear that?
Well, it's complicated. You know, the entire, yes, it's complicated. The Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress will not want wage increase pegged on any further a review in either PMS or whatever. That's the complicated aspect of it. So, and that's why we want to have a holistic conversation on all this. And then maybe when we meet again, we'll discuss.
Okay, then.
President, there are those who have come up with this argument that the way it is now, that some states are unable to pay so much, and that it should actually be deregulated, that the minimum wage should be deregulated as we have it in America. What is the position of the NLC on this? Would you want to agree to that? And the law permits the Minister of Labour to enforce the minimum wage law. Why is it so difficult to enforce it in our country?
Well, just the minimum wage law, just like any other law in the country, we have had that challenge of enforceability. Enforceability in terms of we are not lacking in the number of laws and good laws, but just the enforcement, yes, deduct without remitting. The Act criminalizes it, just on and on and on. So enforcement has been a problem, especially when it comes to issues that has to do with the people who can't even hire lawyers to defend themselves. But on what you said about the regulation of wages, even in America you mentioned, have a common rule on minimum wage. Minimum wage is that benchmark that you can't pay a citizen of any country. And then when you now look at it, in various regions, maybe state of California or New York, will now go and improve on it. But there is a limit that they can't go below. And that is equally what is obtainable here. The minimum wage is the least they are supposed to pay here. I can tell you that some of the states paying are not paying that $30,000. I will give you an example with Edo State. Edo is paying $40,000, while minimum wage is $30,000. Some other states are paying 35, some are paying 33, some are not paying at all. The problem mainly is usually that of priority. There is no relationship, no correlation between states that are poor, and states that are rich and what they are paying in terms of minimum wage. It depends so much on their priority. If Edo that I cited now is not the richest state in the country. So other dynamics come into it. So we can, because of it, refuse to protect Nigerians, especially when we expect foreigners, to come and invest here. If you watch before now, the 2020 CAMA, they will make provision for companies that are coming in here to register. But now it has lessened it. Companies can come here and start business and pay whatever they like. So that's why we need to equally protect our people, in employment. On the issue of even paying whatever they like, you agree with me that from councillors, local government chairmen, to governors and the members of assembly, senators from states that don't have money, they are earning the same thing. So do we now, deregulate it so that senators from states that don't have money will earn maybe 50,000? Those that come from states that have money will pay maybe 100,000. So I don't think that is the issue. What I think, we need to look at it and see, what is best for our country.
Let's look at the organized private sector, because so much attention is being paid to governors, some of who are simply refusing to pay even the old minimum wage. are the are our friends in the organized private sector prepared to pay from the fillers that you are getting?
Well, the issue of paying minimum wage, even when it was 3,000, there was even more strides in the country to implement it. It has nothing to, even the private sector. However, the report we have before us now from the organized private sector, and I'm talking organized private sector in the real sense of it, I'm not talking of these SMEs, now shows that at least the least paid there today is getting about 78,000. As of today that we are discussing. Now, the issue of we will not be able to pay, we cannot pay, has been there. No employer, classically speaking, comes out to pay, whatever you agree. And I'm not sure they are the worst employers in terms of implementing the previous minimum wages. However, they have other challenges with regards to the ease of doing business. The energy costs, all these other challenges, but even the removal of a subsidy increased the cost of doing business. But relatively speaking, they were equally increasing their margin of their products. If you discover what was sold at 10,000 before, as of now it's sold for 30,000. Now it is wage that is constant, and it's unacceptable. Assuming it is milk that was 2,000 before and is 6,000 now, the worker who was earning 30,000 before cannot continue to buy that. So as they are increasing the margin of the products that they are producing, the people that should equally buy these products, should be able to buy it. So I don't agree with the concept of having, increase in cost, increase in prices of consumable products, and keeping the wage constant. If we keep wage constant, even those companies and industries will not survive.
Comrade, we thank you for your time. Thank you very much. And that's Comrade Joe Ajero, President, NLC. Let's go on a quick commercial break. Please stay with us. Thank you.
State His Excellency, Right Honorable Builder Francis Ogbonnanwif FNIOB, GGCEHF, on behalf of the government and people of Ebonyi State, heartily welcome the National Chairman of All Progressives Congress APC, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Omar Ganduje, members of the National Working Committee, the Chairman Progressive Governors Forum and Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, honorable ministers and National Assembly members of the Southeast Extraction, and indeed all stakeholders of the party to the grand finale of the APC campaign rally preparatory to July 20th local government election in Ebonyi State. The rally will hold as follows. Date, Saturday, July 13, 2024. Venue, Pangelorita Township Stadium, Abakaliki. Time, 11 a.m. Announcer, Engineer Jude Chika Dibiokwo, Honorable Commissioner for Information and State Orientation, Ebonyi State.
Okay, then, welcome back. The last moments now. BKO, quickly, what were you able to deduce from what Comrade Ajero said?
Yes, he's confident from the first statement that came out of his mouth. He's confident that the engagement with the president would at least help the NSA achieve its aim of getting a minimum wage that is above what we've been told the tripartite committee minus labor had agreed upon, which is 62,000 naira. Yes, he admitted that it's a little complicated. We expect it to be because, look, workers want to survive, and their leaders are doing their best to drive home that point that, look, things are so bad in the country that if you do not pay what they are asking for, then the average worker is not likely to survive. And let's face it, if a bag of rice is selling at more than 70,000,
yeah,
at least the monthly salary of a worker, the least paid worker, should be able to buy a bag of rice. That is the analogy, and I do not quarrel with that analogy. So this is a difficult time for labor leaders themselves, because they know that it's difficult to get what will please the average worker from the government. So government to complain about revenue, the fact that what we are spending to even service our debts is so huge. So government to pass its issues. But hopefully they will be able to get a new minimum wage sooner than later.
Yeah. Finally, how do you weigh in on this?
Well, I think from the way he spoke, I expect that they will meet with the executives of the union and the rest, and that they are likely to also go down on their 250,000 naira minimum wage demand. And I believe that at the end of the day, both parties
will meet somewhere in the middle
and get out of this.
Okay, gentlemen, our job is done. We must go, but not before thanking BKO. Thank you, BKO, for your time.
Thank you.
And we thank the proud Ijebu lady, Dr. Olabisi Deji Olutile. I thank you.
Thank you. So maybe I will get a chieftaincy title soon. This way you talk about my Ijebu heritage.
Okay, it's all right. We are done, but if you missed any part of this, not to worry, we have a repeat broadcast slated for 11 later tonight. And of course, on Sunday, as I always say, we expand the fare for you, 2 hours beginning from 1:30 and 3:30, And to also inform you, we are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.
Is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. You're watching ShopX TV, home to some of the most popular international brands in Africa, including Gotham Hammered Collection, Genie Bra, Bionic Floodlight, Spot X, Total Crunch Evolution, and more. And we are now proud to introduce our biggest offer of the year, the ShopX Mid-Year Sales. Yes, from now until the end of July 2024, we will be offering our customers 20,000 Naira off this home fitness machine. SportX Digital Compact Treadmill. The compact foldable treadmill that makes being active and losing weight fast and easy. Just unfold it and walk, jog, or run while you watch your favorite programs on TV. And when you're done, just fold it and store it away. Now that's convenience. The secret is its advanced design that houses a 1-horsepower motor that is twice the size of most treadmills, packed into a nice compact unit, powering every step you take. You get the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill System complete with a rugged commercial-grade ultra-durable traction belt, large LCD multifunctional display that displays speed, time,